Good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am going to go over the assets I went over on the previous market review. I'm going to try to make this one quicker than the last one. As you could see, we've drove into the sell side levels that I mentioned on the previous market review. We've drove into the August 12th weekly fair value gap low. Almost just got to the low there. We've passed the 50%. Daily time frame. I mentioned how Wednesday would be the high in the markets if we are going to short off. Wednesday, March 26, 2025, we would drop off into a new week opening gap of the previous week. Use this new week opening gap as resistance, use the 50% as resistance, and drop into further sell side levels at March 21st, Friday, March 19th, March 18th, the 13th, the 11th. So pretty much take out this entire range that retail was comfortable longing. People were comfortable in buying the low. They thought their investments were safe. They thought their positions were safe, but they don't see the market is going to be heading down lower. And as I mentioned before all of this happened, that's what I wanted to see. That's what was going to happen. And it played out on, majority of the move played out on Friday, which I was live on YouTube and live with my private team. And I called last tick at the high of this daily candle live. And we caught around 400 handles plus on Friday. So it was a really nice day for us and played out to attack all our sell side levels. The Dow on the weekly time frame has not extended as much as NASDAQ has, so it still has room to fall. I mentioned that we would inversion the September 16, 2024 weekly candle. Weekly fair value gap, as we are doing this week. And last week's wick high that cleaned the volume imbalance and inefficiency in here should hold if the Dow is going to keep extending down to attack the August 12th, 2024. The red shaded box I have, bullish fair value gap. So I still want to see the Dow drive into this weekly FVG. ES weekly time frame. I wanted to see them use September 16, 2024 as an inversion. And last week, I mentioned how this weekly wick should hold, which is those Wednesday highs that I wanted to see price hold and drive into all the sell side levels that I mentioned. ES has driven to about the same level as NASDAQ taken out all the sell side levels. We've drove into the Monday, August 12th, 2024 weekly time frame 50%, which is more than enough for our positions, my positions, to make money, play out. I could run the break even. I could take the partials. I could take money home. And Friday, we had shorts on the NAS and the ES and anticipated Dow Jones shorts as well. Friday, on the 28th of March, I mentioned how I wanted to see them inversion September 16, 2024, like how we got there. Same scenario as the Dow. We had a volume imbalance that got cleaned, and I don't want to see a trade above this wick. If market is going to be bearish, we should see this week and the next few weeks and this month use this fair value gap as an inversion to take out further sell side in the markets. Daily time frame on the ES. This was the Wednesday high, about the same structure as NASDAQ. They all follow each other and move the same. I wanted to see this Wednesday high get hold. Friday, we had shorts with this large bearish candle on the daily time frame to take out sell side levels. Same anticipation as I had on NASDAQ. I wanted to see it stay below new week opening gap. I know the first 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, were the fake move and making people comfortable that the market is going to go up. They tricked people with the 2 daily candles. We had the short model on Wednesday high at around 6:45 a.m., 6:45 to 6:46 a.m. Beautiful short model. Didn't attack NWOG, I'm sorry, the new week opening gap yet. We got that run on Thursday, and as long as we stayed inside and we stayed below the 50%, Friday we had the acceleration down, which is the position that we took on Friday. Over 100 plus handles on the ES. So going back to the NASDAQ, they made it really tough this week for people to participate in the shorts because there was a lot of people anticipating that move. Also, April 2nd, Trump said all the tariffs, which was going to cause a little bit of chaos in the markets. As we saw late PM session today. Monday pushed up, Tuesday pushed up inside the daily fair value gap that I mentioned start of this week. That would be before it got formed. I knew Monday wanted to create that daily FVG for a price to push up into it. Now with this large wick on Wednesday, today, we cleaned last week's new week opening gap, which is very healthy on the short side. But the way they did it was chaotic, and it was not, the timing was incorrect, which is anticipated because they don't want people to see this move coming. They don't want people to participate in this move. Now, for the time being, I want to see this Wednesday high get held. It should not trade above today's Wednesday high. We do have a lot of inefficiencies in price here. Also, ES has an inefficiency as well. There's a gap in price. There's new day opening gaps still left open, same as the Dow on the daily time frame. And a lot of people are shorting this market. A lot of breakout artists are coming in and shorting. Market's not going to make it easy for the retail. So you have to be patient. You have to sit on your hands and wait for a nice opportunity to set up. One hour time frame. New day opening gap, which NASDAQ has already pushed up into and cleaned. ES hasn't and Dow hasn't. So I want to see ES and Dow clean their new day opening gaps and clean those inefficiencies. Then I could see what model they want to set up. So I could take that position intraday and capitalize on these setups. Shorts, don't want to see them trade above Wednesday high. This is that daily wick I'm talking about. It is non-farm payroll week, so it does get a little hectic. Doesn't mean you can't make money in it. But usually the second week after non-farm payroll, when the circus show is over, and I usually do catch the move in non-farm payroll. It matters how they set it up, but I always participate in non-farm payroll, and I'm very successful at it. The most ideal scenario I would like to see going into tomorrow is we have some buy side taken. So we get some buy side taken, clean some of this inefficient candle, drop back into the new day opening gap, use it as resistance, and keep dropping off forward. These lows aren't going to hold in the market. Retail is longing this and they're very comfortable. I'm not going to drop lower than the 1 hour time frame because I want to make this a higher time frame analysis. So that's an ideal scenario I want to see. Or they could leave it inside new day opening gap and just drop price overnight. Something really nice would be they push price up to this week's new week opening gap, which is around here where my cursor is hovering, which is what I would like to see. That would be a very nice scenario they could set up for us. That would be the buy side ran most of the inefficiency cleaned on this drop down from 1 o'clock. And depending on how they trade at the new week opening gap, we will see that model. And if they want to use it as resistance, we're going to drop back down to take out these lows. Overall, I'm still bearish on the market because I want to see on the weekly this weekly time frame. Fair value gap fail, but we've cleaned most of it. We've almost tapped the low. So we need to be very patient and hands off and wait for the market to give us the perfect picture. All the levels that I anticipated has been tagged, has been driven into. Like how I mentioned on last week's review, if you haven't taken a look at it, you should watch that before watching this video. And price starts to trade below this new wheat. If price starts trading below this weekly bullish fair value gap, price is going to get really heavy, and Nasdaq will chase the 17,000 level, drop into further sell side, taking out these two weekly bodies and driving into the August 5th, Monday, 2024 weekly time frame fair value gap. My bias will change if on a higher time frame, my bias will change if price drives into Friday's daily fair value gap, Friday's daily fair value gap. They push it all the way up. Use the weekly fair value gaps high as support and use the 50% of this wick to push price to March 26th, 2025. Daily fair value gap that if the shorts are going to keep playing out, this fair value gap will be unfilled. So the only way I flip my bias into a higher time frame long doesn't mean I'm not going to take a intraday long setup. There could be a lot of intraday long setups setting up, which I don't really like taking in the bear market. But the only way I flip my bias is if we drive into March 28, 2025, daily time frame FVG. Use it as an inversion. Drive into last week's NWOG. Use it as support, then we'll push up to the March 26, 2025 unfilled fair value gap. That's the only way I flip my bias. As of now, next couple days will be interesting. Most of my positions have played out and levels have gotten hit, so I'm staying hands off. I'm not going too risky on the markets, especially with the conditions I just explained to you. So we will wait for further notice on how they want to set it up in this range. Chaotic day today, late session as expected, but we still stayed inside the daily FVG for this week and left this one unfilled and Wednesday high held like how I anticipated. The Dow, notice how there's an inefficiency with sell side taken. So I want to see this inefficiency get cleaned, which is the new day opening gap. But on a higher time frame, I could see the Dow extending lower into the August 12th Monday fair value gap, red shaded box. ES, same scenario. A lot of sell side taken. There's an inefficiency in here that I want to see get cleaned. Same structure as NASDAQ. The Dow is a little different because the Dow moves more chaotic. So I would want to see April 2nd, 2025 high get held and price stay in this range. Monthly time frame NASDAQ. We've made the monthly upper wick. If price is going to keep dropping off, this should be a monthly time frame breakaway gap, unfilled fair value gap. And price should extend down to take out September 2nd, 2024 monthly candle wick, August 1st, Thursday, 2024 monthly candle bottom wick, which is the 17,000 level I'm anticipating. So if price is going to flip long, which don't see that happening anytime soon, I will see it. I will anticipate it. I will trade it. But as of now, I'm not worried about that. Litecoin, daily time frame. We were anticipating shorts in these levels. I mentioned how everybody longing these lows are comfortable, and we would use the March 10th, 2025. This is the position I was in. And we would use red shaded box, March 10th, 2025 as resistance. And we should use this fair value gap to drop off, take out these sell side levels. If price is going to get heavy on this asset, it should stay below the monthly time frame fair value gap, which it's in right now. So it should stay below. Shouldn't trade above monthly time frame fair value gap high and flip this candle to trading to the low. But already I've cleared a lot of positions on this asset. It's ran more than enough. I could run my break even. I anticipated as well that there should be a breakaway gap. So depending on how we trade inside the March 11th, 2024 bullish FVG, if we fail this, we're going to attack. Because if we fail that, It's the 50% of the monthly fair value gap. Drop off to the low. And once it fails the low, which it will once it gets down here, it'll attack all these sell side levels where my cursor is hovering. Slow asset, not the best asset, but if it's going to set up a model, I don't trade this often, but if it will set up a model that I like, I could capitalize on it. XRP, we were taking shorts up at the weekly high, and this position has played out as well. Money has been taken off. You could reduce the stop or run the break even. I wanted to see it driving into November 25th, 2024 weekly bullish fair value gap as I got. I was shorting at the high on Monday, March 24th, weekly high. It would be nice to see this asset extend down to the 50%, which will put us deeper into profits. But once it fails the 50, it will drop down to the low, and that'll be a nice move. Daily time frame, it would get this asset's going to get very heavy if we don't trade above the April 2nd, 2025 daily candles high. And as long as we stay below, price will drop off to the 50%. Take this sell side out March 11th, and it'll drop off further. Again, not the best asset to trade, but if it's going to set up a model for me, I could capitalize on it because I know how this stuff works. I know how they play it. And the same thing I was mentioning on the US markets, I will see the cryptos flip bull as well. But I don't want to talk about that just yet. I want them to set up the full picture for the bull market, and then I will talk about it. But as of now, I'm not interested in that. Bitcoin not moving like how the coins are moving, which is predictable and anticipated because this asset is stronger, holds more value than XRP, Litecoin, Ethereum. There's more value in this. There's more money in it. And from what I'm seeing, it's still setting up the move. So monthly time frame, we've already made the monthly high. We are inside monthly time frame fair value gap. It's right at the 50. The body is at the 50%. It was. It's traded above it just a little bit. But once this 50% fails, price is going to get really heavy. Weekly time frame. I want to see them inversion November 11th, 2024. Highs have been made with these wicks. This asset moves a little different than NAS and the US market. The US market is my bread and butter. NASDAQ is my bread and butter. That's where I make the most money on. But again, if other assets are going to give me an opportunity, I could participate in it and make money. So I would want to see this weekly candle flip and use this November 11, 2024 fair value gap as an inversion and flip this to chase the lows at 73,000. So I've already made my anticipation on this on the previous review. People are comfortable buying these lows. I want to see them get taken out. These highs should hold. But price action on Bitcoin is not the cleanest. And it's not moving quick enough like how XRP, Litecoin, and Ethereum have on the short side. So it's going to be interesting what happens to this asset this month. And I will keep you guys updated. Again, when this asset flips to bull, which I'm not worried about that yet, and if it wants to attack ATH, all-time high levels, I will see that. And I will keep you guys updated. My private team gets this information earlier. I do release it on YouTube a little later than I give it to them. I don't sell courses. If people want to take my opinion, people want to take my bias, they're more than welcome to. I'm doing this for free. If they don't, it's completely fine. So this month will be interesting. And overall in the markets, I don't believe or look too much into politics because price has an algorithm and it's all controlled and predetermined. They know exactly where it's going to go for years ahead. But I see what's happening in the world. I see what the new president is doing, which is amazing. And he's setting up the smart people for success. He's setting up people, especially in the United States of America, to be very successful. And he wants to give people an opportunity to buy back in the markets. He wants to give people an opportunity to participate because the market for past couple years, 3 years, has, especially under Biden, has been going up, going up, going up. Also making people comfortable. And he's a businessman and he knows what he's doing. I'm not saying he's controlling it. I'm not saying he's the one creating price. No. But the decisions he's making and what he's doing, again, I don't keep up too much with politics because price action tells me way before something's going to happen in the world. He's setting up for the average people, for anyone who will survive this, to make money and participate in the long run, as in the market going up. which is beautiful. Regardless, up, down, diagonal, whichever direction it goes, I'm going to be in it. I'm going to see it. I'm going to participate in it, especially on NASDAQ. Quick little review on the euro. Pushing up from the levels I have marked out. Weekly FVG, close bullish. We're already pushing up. It's going to tag and drive into this level. And dollar index is very heavy. If dollar index can keep its heaviness, euro's going to inversion this, as in use it as support and keep pushing up to attack these buy side levels. And euro dollar should not get below March 24th, 2025 Monday weekly low. And I don't want to see it even trade below this week's low anymore. Same thing as GU. You know, I said I was going to go down to the lower time frame. But quick little look is these lows are going to get taken out. But also, looking at price here, retail is shorting these highs, and there's a lot of buy side up here. So I do want to see price take these guys out before making its move with the ES. Having the inefficiency left open, hasn't fully cleaned it, and has the equal highs and the Dow as well. You have a gap left open with the equal highs. But we will see what price sets up for us tomorrow and the next day. We have non-farm payroll on Friday. And I will keep you guys updated as we move forward. Again, private mentorship, private team gets this information much quicker. They see the live trades that I take live in the mornings at US session. So it's something to note going forward. And I will see you guys on the next market review. Everybody have a blessed and beautiful day. Until the next time.